Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Professor Norman Cornett, religious studies scholar, curator, and art critic, here with Sekai, who created this folding screen entitled originally in French, Paravant. The work intrigues me because it explores dimensionality and specifically depth perception, which we do not find normally in the paintings of Sekai. It's as though he has created an object that creates perspective, that creates depth perception. How would you respond to that, Sekai?
In the sense of depth perception and an object in space, it relates very much like being on the stage. When you have your plain stage there with dancers moving around, you often see lots of objects placed on the stage and how artists move around them or move with them. In this one, it could be comical. You could have people coming out from the sides, people coming over the top. It becomes a very good, almost a screen to dance in front of.
Screen as in theater, a scrim.
Yes.
Which is essentially the veil that divides the artist from the audience. And it would make sense that as a professional dancer, you are acutely conscious of that watershed, that divide between artist and audience, and you seem to have materialized it in this folding screen.
Yes, I like what you said about a scrim and so on. These are often enhance a space and enhance creativity around it. In particular, here we have lovely colors and movement going on. In the blues, you see a lot of waves and so on. So it's almost like taking yourself into a landscape of water.
Interesting that you would mention this, Sekai, because I see a lyricism in this particular work. It flows. There is a stream, almost a stream of consciousness. And that unhindered, unobstructed, that natural, serene, quiet flowing seems imperative to you.
Thank you again in the sense of understanding the work. Yes, I believe in fluidity in my work, and I don't want my works to become too rigid or too graphic. This one has lots of play within it, and yes, even here your greens against the yellows and the spots and so on. You can find the yellow keeps you alive and energetic, and the greens give you a certain dynamic of exploding in the space.
And the well-known American artist Cy Twombly is associated with mark making, a very minimalist approach to the brushstroke, to the trace on the canvas, the trace on the picture plane. You seem here to favor, almost like Cy Twombly, mark making, to say the most with the least.
Yes, I think that is what artists are trying to find in their works, a sort of immediate gesticulation of their paintbrush and their hand, their inner language of creating imagery.
And when we look at the different planes of the Paravant, the folding screen, it's almost like sediments or like layers. And I get the sense that when you created this work, you wanted to recreate functionally the sense of everything is unstable. everything shifts, everything moves, everything is, most ironically, everything is most liquid and can take any shape, any form, can morph and adjust and adapt and accommodate.
Yes, that is a struggle for the artists to try to find that kind of flexibility in their work so that it is not static, that in a space where it's being shown or whatever, it's alive. It keeps the space moving at all times.
And as a professional dancer in your career, I surmise that suppleness is quite literally the name of the game. A supple body, a supple movement, nothing brash, nothing brutal, but all, as the film would put it, and the novel on which it's based, this work for me, Sekai, is all about a river runs through it.
Thank you very much.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I invite you to discover the art of Sekai at his blog spot, Sekai, and I'll spell that, SEKI.wordpress.com.